Hey everybody, it's Top Thrill 2 Fan bringing you guys a brand new stream. So today we will be starting to work on Cedar Plaza. We did sort of start that in the previous stream, and today we will be continuing the work on Cedar Plaza. So that is the title of the stream, Cedar Plaza. So we will be working on Cedar Plaza today. And yeah, so as you can see, we do have the building pallets still here. Just I think partly just because I haven't taken the time to take them down yet. But yeah, so in the last stream, we finished up working on trees over there, and then we started working on getting the monorail track out here, and then also getting this monorail station set up, and then we spawned in the monorail, and kind of we've been letting it run back and forth ever since. And then right here we've got like a nice little security checkpoint, like that, like you would usually see when visiting a theme park. Yeah, and so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start setting that stuff up. And yeah, so my apologies for not streaming yesterday morning. I ended up just kind of waking up later than I had anticipated, so I didn't end up having time to stream before work tomorrow like I had hoped. But I will definitely try to be better about that. I'll try to be better about my sleeping schedule to make sure if I'm scheduling a stream early in the morning, I'll make sure to be on for that. But yeah, so like I said, yeah, so today's stream, we're gonna run the stream today until 5 p.m. That's kind of the plan right now, and yeah, thank you so much to Donk7 and Dropsnet for joining in the chat. Oh, my stream preview on the website is actually still showing up as not there, and I think that's because I think it takes a second for it to register that I'm streaming. But yeah, I mean, it's saying that I'm live, so I guess I'm just kind of I'm trusting my computer that it's telling me the right things, that it's like telling me that I'm live when I'm actually live. And yeah, and so I did set up train cart signs over here. Let me actually, yeah, I just want to make sure that I actually did set those up. Yeah, so yeah, basically, we have train cart signs set up over here because basically then when you walk over the thing, it'll play like a little sound effect to basically show that the metal detector is working. Because like this is a thing that you'll see at a lot of like real theme parks. They'll usually have like security checkpoints on the way into the park to make sure that people aren't like bringing weapons and stuff into the park. So that's kind of the realism aspect that I'm going for right here. Is I'm having a security checkpoint that you'll walk through, and this will be the exit. So right over here, I'll put some sort of like exit. Oh, and actually, that works out perfectly. That we'll be able to put. We'll also put fence gates there. One thing I'm gonna have to be careful of now that we're using this style of fencing, I'll have to be careful about doing that. So like maybe instead of doing that, I'll just put a fence, a regular fence there, so that that doesn't end up opening it. And then we'll just do that, and then that'll be our exit from the. That'll be kind of our exit from the park. And actually, same thing over here. I think when we're adding the, and actually when we're adding the gate, I think actually I'll use. Yeah, I guess I'll just go with using a birch gate, I think, and then I'll just put a wall in there instead. Um, just just so that we're not. Actually, I guess one other option would be to, if I wanted to keep like the fence idea, um, I could just do that and just make sure. Oh, actually, I think, yeah, I just realized. So like if we do that, for example. Oh, actually, that doesn't affect that. So actually, oh, never mind, it does. Okay, yeah. So we are going to just have to go with the wall idea, and then I'll just put that back. Yeah. So there will just be an exit gate right there to make it so that people can't walk up the exit. Uh, and yeah, actually, I guess I really actually in some ways don't feel like we necessarily need the exit gate, but yeah. So yeah, and I did want to let you guys know. So I actually will not be streaming. I will not be streaming from. What will that be? I will not be streaming from. I will not be streaming from. I think it's March 11th to the 14th. So basically Monday through Thursday. Yeah, actually, I'm realizing now we actually don't need that because since we already have the exit gate up there, that's basically blocking the way in. So I'll just go ahead and put that back. Um, Boom, like that. Um, yeah, so I will not be streaming Monday through Thursday this week because I will be. I'll just be taking a little bit of time off. So so I will not be streaming, but I will try to. I will probably try to keep working on the park though, kind of as I'm taking the time off. I'll try to keep working on the park and stuff to make sure we keep on making progress on that. Because I am hoping to kind of open this as soon as humanly possible. Kind of also keeping in mind to make sure everything is like high quality and stuff. Like that's definitely something I'm really passionate about. Is always making sure that everything is kind of as high quality as it can be. That is definitely, I think quality is definitely very important to me when doing these kind of builds. I'm always wanting to make sure everything is really high quality. Um, so like that's why like I ended up spending like 6 episodes, I think it was, on the spawn area. Um, I actually still have my building palette over here. I actually might go ahead and actually move this over to the. Ooh, I thought everything was moving under me, and I was gonna be like, "Whoa, what?" Okay, but yeah, but I'm gonna go ahead and cut that, and I'm gonna paste it on over this way, on over yonder, because I do want to have it over here just so that I can have kind of a reference to what my palette is for like terrain and stuff. Um, yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out a place to. Yeah, actually, I guess yeah, I could just do right about the monorail station. That would probably be a fine place for it. Oh, I guess it's going to be in that direction because I forgot to rotate it. I'm going to try this again. So we're going to rotate 90. Then I'm going to go ahead and paste -90 actually. So I'll just rotate 180 and then paste like that. So that way we still have our building palette for terrain and stuff. Because we are going to be doing terrain over here. And I think I actually will try to go for like instead of just this all being flat, I actually will be going for a little bit of terrain here. Um, I'm gonna probably outline where the plot where I want the plaza to go, and then I'll outline kind of ways to make that so that we have variation in terrain and stuff. So I think something that we will do. I do want to have some sort of like sign. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can't spell. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And so I do want to have like some sort of like Cedar Plaza sign. So that's I'm trying to think what that would be. So that would be Cedar, I think is yeah, 5 letters, and then Plaza. So that's also 5 letters, yeah. So we could actually like we can probably take inspiration from this sign in terms of like the size of it. Because it'll basically be the same size sign. So I'm gonna just go ahead and so I'm gonna copy that. I'm gonna copy that, then rotate it, and then we'll go ahead and place it over here. I'll place it off of the path just because I don't really know like how this will look. Oh, actually, that's actually yeah. I guess that works. Yeah. So then I'm trying to think for the Cedar Plaza. So I want to use, I think for the colors, I do want to use, I think I do want to keep this sign for sure. I mean, like, I think that this sign is good, and then, but I'm gonna kind of change up some of the colors and stuff. So I think for kind of more of the stony textures, I'll use maybe. Oh yeah, I guess I could do like yeah. I guess I could kind of do what I did for this station, um, and have like polished andesite, some sandstone. I think I used smooth sandstone. Yeah, so yeah, I could basically just use this palette. Is that? Oh yeah, I was going to say I don't think we're using white terracotta anymore because I replaced it with the cherry planks. Yeah, and then I guess cherry. So I'm going to just keep in mind that we're using cherry for this. So this is going to be kind of our building palette somewhat. Oh yeah, stone bricks as well. To add a little bit of variation into the stone texture to kind of give it a little bit more variation, like I said. And then we'll do probably light gray terracotta as well. So then I think for the yeah for the sign itself, so I think we'll do maybe um so I think we will use slabs. And then yeah, so for the top we'll use cherry slabs. Yeah, so I'm gonna just go ahead and get rid of the blocks in my inventory. And then so I think we'll use maybe like cherry slabs in the front. Or sorry, cherry slabs on the top. And then on the bottom we'll use andesite. Either that or actually I think stone bricks actually probably would go better with oh stone bricks and andesite. Actually we could do that. Stone bricks and andesite for the bottom. So like if we wanted to recreate this, we would go for or I guess maybe another option would be maybe using the sandstone. Just so that there's a little bit more variation in the colors so that we're not just using all gray blocks. Oh, I see. We've got 8 HV Des, 8 row, Daikatzi, Marxine, Greengrassy, and Rockin in the chat. Thank you guys so much for joining in the chat today. And I see we've also got 3 viewers, which is really nice. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the stream today. I hope you guys enjoy it. And yeah, so I think we'll do that instead, actually, because then I'll use the stone bricks up here. And actually, coincidentally, I'm actually already using the stone bricks on that same level, on the other side. So then, yeah, so I'll do that. And yeah, so then I'm trying to think for this part. Yeah, I guess I mean like we could probably use maybe sandstone. Actually, yeah, we could even tie in the mud bricks somehow. I think we might be able to do that for one of the layers. Yeah, actually, maybe for the top layer we could do that even. So I think that's the first layer right there. So then the upper layer. Oh, so it would actually be like that. There we go. And actually, that would tie in like the mud bricks that we used for that. That would kind of tie that in. Yeah. Then for the bottom layer, I want to use like the cherry planks kind of a mixture of that and maybe even like the sandstone. Yeah, I feel like sandstone would go pretty well with that. Actually, that's 5 blocks. Oh, actually, yes, I didn't do that wide enough. Okay. But yeah, we'll do probably, yeah, sandstone. So then, yeah, so I think this is what we'll do. I think for this, oh, and then, yeah, I guess we can just go ahead and copy the cedar heads because we'll just go ahead and reuse those for this sign. And then we'll go ahead and write out plaza with the, we'll go ahead and write out plaza with the other signs. Or like we'll go ahead and write out plaza with the other heads. If I even have the right heads, like I might have to go on my own server. I may have to go on my own like single player world maybe. So it would be plaza. So we actually do have the L. Um, and then so I'll need it. I think it's P, A, and Z. So those are the heads I'll need. So I'm gonna look them up on MinecraftHeads.com first. So P, A, and Z. and it's definitely very hard to find it sometimes. Actually, font line actually might help if I go into the font page. I don't have the head database plugin, partly just because I don't really want to pay for it. So I'm just kind of doing this the free way of basically just kind of getting it off of the Minecraft heads website and then uploading it through a command block. Because I actually do have I have command blocks enabled on my server. I think I will. I might keep them enabled actually. Like I've been thinking about possibly disabling them just so that people can't go crazy with them. But um, and I have to keep in mind to do Minecraft give since I think because I have essentials. Um, because I have essentials, it automatically thinks I'm trying to use that. Um, yeah, perfect. There we go. And actually, I don't know, like if you zoom through here, well, yeah, and oh yeah, I don't know the skull or anything yet. You can't just change that to an A, because if you change it to an A, it wouldn't do anything. It's like you have to have like the skull on your stuff. Because if you don't have the skull on your stuff, then it doesn't work. And I actually kind of wonder like what other plugins have give. Like so I'm guessing that is probably essentials would be my guess. That might be the other plugin that uses /give, like other than just regular Minecraft. So I may see if I can get rid of essentials by programming in some of the stuff via script, because that would actually be really nice. Um, okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get our shulker box of heads out, and actually I guess there we go. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So that's kind of the blueprint, or that's kind of the prototype. That's kind of the prototype I'm going off of right now. So this is the prototype that I want to go off of for this. And then yeah, we can just add that right in the middle. So this is the prototype I want to go off of. I'm just not 100% sure if I want to use it. I'll try putting it in and just seeing how it looks with the rest of the build. And then if I don't like it, I'll just remove it. And yeah, so that'll be the sign that we'll put in. Okay, so I'm just going ahead and getting rid of that just because we don't really need that anymore. But yeah, I think I'm going to just go ahead and see kind of how that fits in with the plaza. And then I think for the path, I just want to figure out like that. Yeah, and then like I said, I'm gonna try to create kind of a basic outline of kind of what I want things to look like, kind of from a shape standpoint and stuff like that. So then I think, oh yeah, I forgot about doing this side. Boom, like that. I think, yeah, that looks good. Okay. Yeah, so I think kind of from a shape standpoint, so yeah, I want to go with that, and then we'll do I'll probably do maybe 7 or 9, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'll probably do either that or maybe 9 blocks because then at that point is where we'll have the plaza go up a little bit. Um, because like we'll kind of act as if there's like a little bit of a hill. But yeah, that's kind of what I want to go with. I think is I want kind of the initial part of the plaza to be kind of in this basic shape. Um, and then I think what we'll do is we'll do maybe like a 5 wide path. So like we'll do a 5 wide path. We'll do like a ramp, and then we'll also do stairs because you have to keep stuff like this. You have to keep it like handicap accessible, and then you also can use stairs. But like anytime you're using stairs, it's good to also use a ramp. That way, it's going to be like handicap accessible because generally, like if you're doing it based off of reality, there will always be like that ramp for to make the path handicap accessible. And Aaliyah, welcome to the chat. Thank you so much for hopping in. Yeah, and so this is going to be the basic outline of this. Now I don't really have well, and I guess something I would like to do would be maybe to add I guess actually Cedar Hills Information Center wouldn't be a bad idea, like having some sort of like information center to hand out like park maps and stuff like that. I think that would be pretty realistic for kind of a plaza area to have an information center along with in addition to an information center there would also be like restrooms and other stuff like that. So I think I'm gonna have an information center. Um, yeah. And I think also I do want to start working on warps for the server because I do want to make it so that people are able to warp to different positions. So I think I'm going to make like a /spawn command. So I'm actually going to go ahead. I'm actually going to jump off of my server really quickly to work on like script because I'm going to create like a warps script. I'm going to log into my files. And then so I'll actually I guess I can give kind of a little bit of a sneak peek kind of into our scripts. I'll pick one that I don't really care too much about. Yeah, I guess the clear lag one. I honestly don't really care if people copy that one just because it's a very very easy one. So I'm gonna go ahead and switch my screen over. Let me just make sure I'm only sharing what I want to share. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I'm gonna just make sure we have the right stuff. FTP Explorer should be the one right there. So I'm actually gonna switch off Minecraft for a second, and then we're gonna go into the scripts. So basically, with scripts, if you want to create like a prefix that you'll use for commands and stuff, like such as that, or even just broadcasting, basically that's how you create a prefix. You basically write out what you want the prefix to be, and then you also add some of like the colors and stuff. So like in this case, I'm using like light gray, dark green, and also light gray. So like if you look back on the server, basically whenever I run, for example, the clear lag command, and then you'll notice it has the prefix along with the message. Yeah. And then yeah, so then I'm gonna go ahead. Well, there were no changes, but I guess you're gonna make me save it anyway. Um, all right. So then something I'm gonna do. I think yeah, it would be new file. So I'm gonna go ahead and create a new file, and I'm gonna call this warps.sk. And so you'll always want to do .sk. Basically, whenever you're scripting, you always want to do .sk. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. And then so first things first, I'm gonna start off with the options, and then I'm gonna go ahead and make a prefix. That's always the first thing you want to do is make the prefix. And then I guess first I'm going to do a couple of the staff commands. So command, and then I'm going to do create warp. Or actually, it's not create warp, oops. It would be set warp. And then for this one, there will only be one argument in the command because it will be /set warp and then the name of the warp. And then this will be this will have a special permission attached to it. So permission warps dot create. And that'll be the same for like if people want to delete a warp, they'll have to have the warps.create permission. And then as soon as I save this file, you'll notice that that will go into my permissions. Because like if you look at, I'm gonna just save this for a second. So like if you look at, I'm trying to think of a good example. Oh yeah, the chat one, for example. So like if you So if you look at the chat one, for example, so like if I go into like user, I'll just use myself as an example, permission set. And then so you'll notice there's like a chat one right there, chat.clear. That's one of the permissions I have set up with the chat script to make it so that people can like clear chat and stuff like that. But yeah, so then the warps one, now that we warps.create, and then we'll use the prefix, and then we'll say, so for the permission message for people that don't have permission, you do not have permission to use this command. And then basically what it'll trigger then is, so it's already checking for the permission, so we don't have to check for that, but we should check for if arg1 is not set. Because like there might be times where somebody might forget to do the first argument in the command, and so then and so if arg1 is not set, then what we'll do is we'll send an error message to the player, like we'll send like a usage message basically. So send @p usage set warp name of warp, and then we'll send that to the player. And then else, so if arg1 is set, then we'll first of all check if arg1 I think it would be something along the lines of that. So like if warp's arc1 is not set, then it'll create the warp, else it'll send an error message. It'll send and then this is something where I actually do have to look it up because I actually don't remember. So I'm going to just switch back to my Minecraft screen for a second. Because I want to just look this up really fast. I don't remember exactly how to do this part. So all right, it'll be basically set warps of arc1 to location of player. Um, and then send like warp, and then the name has been set to your location. So that's kind of the basic idea with that. And I think actually with my warps, with my like warp script, I do want to have. Actually, I think I just realized actually I think I already have that script somewhere, the warp script. Because like when I was working on a server on my own computer, actually I think I set up warp scripts. So I'm not really exactly sure why I forgot about that, but so yeah, it would be in scripts. Well, it's not in that one. Yeah, I'll be honest, I actually don't remember. I don't remember which server I set this up in, so it's gonna take me a second to find it. I might be under servers because yeah, I was doing servers at one point. Yeah, actually, maybe this will help as well. Yeah, so I'm gonna just go ahead and pull this up, and I'll put it off to the side so that I'm able to use it. Because this was kind of basically a warp script, pretty much. And actually, I'm gonna change the warps right here. Warps dot manage. And yeah, so we'll do warp dot manage for this dot warp and del warp. And then, so what I'll do then, so if warp spark one is not set, so if it's already set, it'll send that warp already exists. And then for this message, this will send the warp was set. So this will send the message of like the warp was set. So the warp was set. Okay. And then so what we'll do then is we'll go ahead and set warps of arg1 to player's location. Okay. And then, oh, and yeah, and I guess to test this is to test this, I'm gonna have to make sure I'm able to then warp. And this will not have a permission attached to it because you'll just be able to use this as a guest. So if arg1 is not set, and you have to do the arg1 is not set thing for every for basically every command that you're gonna have to have arguments where you have to do if arg1 is not set, if arg2 is not set, stuff like that. It can get a little bit tiresome sometimes, but and I think I actually also will do like maybe a warps command, like slash warps, because that will allow me to like list warps for people so that people can have a list of warps. Um, and so for then slash warp, so basically if the warp is not set, send warp does not exist, and then else send. Yeah, I guess else you don't necessarily need a send, and I actually don't know what I would even say in a send for that, but let's just do teleport player to not servers. Oops, warps arg1. Yeah, I think that's how you do it. Teleport player to warps arg1. Yes. Okay. And then, so for this one, if arc1 is not set, and then also have else. Yeah. So I'm actually just going to do this. Because it'll basically do the same thing except delete the warp. And then, so in order to delete the warp, you just do delete and then warps arg1. Okay. So now if I save this, so I believe I've got everything because I've got set warp, I've got del warp, and then I've also got the warp command. So now, if I've done this right, I'm going to just go ahead and do sk reload warps.sk. And so then now what I'm going to do is, I guess I'll just set a warp. So let's just do warp test. Perfect. Okay. So then now if I do, and actually then same thing if I do del warp test. Great. Okay. So it is not letting me warp or delete the warp. That's good. Okay. And then so now if I now if I go a little bit farther away, perfect. It warps me. And then what I'll do then I just want to try deleting the warp now just to make sure that works. Oh, and did I not make a message for that? Oh yeah, I guess I forgot to make a message for that. Cool. Okay. And then so yeah, that warp does not exist. And then I think if I try to warp now, so after I've deleted the warp, if I try to warp, that warp does not exist. Cool. So then I think the next thing I want to work on is getting like a GUI set up. So that's something I have done before, but it's just I don't remember how to do it exactly. I guess yeah. Let me go ahead. So first, what I'll do. So command. Um, oh, and then I think I created the name. Okay, yeah, actually, so I think the reason why I did the names for the warps is because that was because if you just see the warps, it'll be weird about it. So like that. So that's basically, so if I want to have the ability to list them, then I would need to do that. Okay, so send. Okay, so I'm encountering an error. Okay, there. And then so warps, I think it'll just, yeah, it'll show up as none if there's no warps, and then, so now what I'm going to do is we'll go ahead and del warp for each of these. And actually, I think, oh, hello, Ethan Trains 1. How's it going? All right, so then what we'll, I think one thing I'd like to do, well, like one command, one like staff command I'd like to add, would be clear warps to basically delete all the warps. And then that would be like a staff command, so like only staff would be able to run that. So clear warps. And then for this, we don't actually have to check for warp names because warp names is set when warps is set, so we don't need to yeah, so we don't need to we basically don't need to check for warp names. Like we only have to check for one of them. And then so if warps is not set, then send There are no warps to clear. And then else, we'll delete warps, and then we'll also delete warp names. And then all warps were cleared. We're going to go ahead and save that, and now we're going to test it. Set warp test. So then now if we check for warps, and if we try to warp, perfect. Okay. Happy Bun 00 and VI Mercy, welcome to the chat. Thank you guys so much for joining in today. So this will just be an easier way. So if we want to like clear all the warps at once, like if we ever want to clear all the warps, which I don't know why we would want to, but if we do want to, that will basically make it so it's just easier to clear them all. And I guess I could even make a GUI out of that as well. Like that would be one option so that we don't end up clearing them all. Okay. And then for the warps GUI, yeah, I'll just do warps GUI for now. That'll be the placeholder for the command for right now. So for this one, we want to trigger, and then we'll want to so this is code that I've used before. And then so I think what we'll do then, so this is some older code. So I'll change some of this. And actually, this tree has been driving me crazy. So I think that's something I will fix probably on my own time, just because I don't really want to take up a stream to work on that. But okay, I'm gonna go ahead and set a warp really quickly to test this to make sure it works. Okay, and then so I think for actually that's and I guess I was an idiot because I did send instead of command. There we go. Okay, so then what we'll do for spawn then slash spawn. Oh, that's why. Okay, so that'll be our spawn. And then I actually do need to set well, and this will be Cedar Plaza that I'm going to be setting the work for. So I think yeah, I could either do it there or I could do it right here. And then so now it says Cedar Plaza. And then we can also close out of the, oh, actually I did SK reload. Okay, so then, yeah, so I think, like I was saying here, we're gonna create like a little bit of a ramp, or like a ramp and a staircase. And so I think, I'm gonna put the ramp on the left, I think. So we'll do the ramp on the left, and then I think, oh, put that in the wrong spot. Okay, so then this will basically be the plot of land for the information center. And then there will be like a back area right there for offices. And then there will be a counter right there. And so I think what I'll build over here is probably going to be restrooms, I think. Just because I think it would be good to have restrooms. Yeah, so that'll be the men's restroom, that'll be the women's restroom. Yeah, and then yeah, so it'll end up being kind of the mirror image of this building pretty much. And now I'm realizing that I forgot to do, oops. Now I'm realizing I forgot actually to leave a 2 box space. Like I usually try to leave like about a 2 box space. So, okay. And then, so then I think for this building, I think kind of what I want to do for the roof is to do like some sort of like round roof up until about there. And so kind of following that shape. And then I think up here is where I want to do kind of more of like a pitched roof. And then we'll do some sort of like slightly pitched roof, but more like flat. And I think what we'll do actually for this part of the roof, we'll actually have, well, I think actually for the entire building even, or maybe the entire building or at least part of it, for the entire building or at least part of it, we'll do kind of, I guess what you could call kind of an upper floor. And then for the back side, I think I want to do maybe one block down because that'll allow me to do like kind of that pitched roof. Actually, I guess we could even do kind of a similar idea on this side. And then, so I think for the shape of the bathroom, we'll have the upper, like, well, kind of an upper part of the roof and then a lower part of the roof, I think. All right, so we got the pillars done. And then for the bottom of the building, we'll do that. And then all right, so then um yeah, so this will basically be our restrooms. Oh no, thank you so much to my one viewer that is watching, and also thank you so much to those in the chat that are tuning in. And as you guys can see, I actually do have Discovery Parks is going to be another park tree that will be on this server. I'm going to be bringing back the Discovery Resort from a while ago, and I'll also bring back. Well, and I actually also I got a download of my plot from a creative server that I went on at one point. Um, so if you guys wanted a tour of a really awesome park that I worked on a while back, I tried uploading this, or I tried loading this in a single player world, and so like some of like the leaves and stuff are messed up. I don't know if I have a backup or not with the leaves, but yeah, this is basically I basically have something that yeah, I basically have a plot that I was working on, so you can see I've got um, Cedar. So Cedar Hills is actually it's a park I've worked on before. Um, this is kind of like an older version of it. Yeah, so this was Cadillac cars. So actually, I can take you guys on a quick tour of the park. So right here we've got the. This is kind of our location where people once they enter the park, they come in here and see the really nice like the two statues of myself and the who and the person who is now a former co-owner. So I had like statues of us and then a flag. Um, and then as you can see right here, this was one of our rides. This was Grand Carousel. This was actually our very first attraction that we ever built, our very first ride. And then just around the fairgrounds area, this was kind of more of a shopping area, I would say. Like, there was definitely a lot of shopping in the fairgrounds, along with like there's some like arcade games right here, um, and also a restaurant, Backbeat Q. We also had this was our very first roller coaster, Blue Streak. Um, and I can actually take you guys on a tour of the tech, because we'll actually be starting to do tech on some stuff later on. But yeah, this is kind of what my tech used to look like. It used to look kind of crazy just because there's just a lot that goes into manual tech. But the good thing is with my server, I will be doing auto tech, so like a lot of the stuff will be very simplified. So like this ride actually, this is Grand Carousel. Actually, yeah, I need to get rid of animals in this world. But yeah, basically this was the automatic tech for Grand Carousel, and the manual tech was definitely a lot more. The manual tech was a lot more involved. Like there was a lot more moving parts and stuff that could easily break down. Now, this is actually something that a good friend of mine uh, helped me with. A good friend of mine built this for me. Um, and and actually so the original Ferris wheel I did build the original Ferris wheel, but then my friend made some like modifications to it. And then this was something that one of my one of my one of the people that worked for my park actually built this for me. And then all these improvements to the boardwalk area were done by the friend. His name is Supap. He's a very good builder. I would definitely highly recommend that if you are looking for really good builders, definitely contact Supap. He's a very good builder. Um, and I definitely have a lot of respect for him. He's definitely he's been an inspiration to me for sure. But yeah, so there's the Bardock area, and then this area over here. This is the Expo Center. I was so basically we've got this is whatever rides Nova Rider. We've also got Gargantua. This was going to be our tallest and fastest coaster when it opened, along with Professor Marvel's Hall of Science, which was going to be a dark ride. And then this ride right here is one of our most anticipated attractions. It's called Formula One Racer. It is going to be an Intamin Stratocoaster. It will be manufactured by Intamin, and it will basically launch you to the maximum speed using a hydraulic launch. And so like it'll launch up over the top hat, and then it'll zoom over this airtime hill at the end. So it's kind of like King Dakar, but just with a kind of a racing theme um, instead of more of a jungly theme. Now, this was another ride that was in the boardwalk area that we ended up moving. This is Wild Mouse. This is actually probably an attraction that will be coming back to the boardwalk. Like I think, especially now that we're gonna have more room since I'm on my own server, I probably will bring that back over into the boardwalk area. Um, like the boardwalk area will definitely be expanded, and then Cyclone. This was one of our fairgrounds attractions. This was themed to like a tornado, or themed to like a kind of like a hurricane or a storm, pretty much. And something that we actually did with this ride is we actually did change the queue line. The queue line actually did used to just kind of be in this general area, but we ended up changing it and changing it around, and we actually ended up having it loop around the supports right here. So that way you got to go like that way, like if the line is backed up this far, you'll be able to stand right by the first drop as the train is going by and going over the loop. This was when I was reshaping the loops at one point, so this was kind of my way of reshaping the loops. But yeah, so this is I would say this is probably one of my favorite parks I've ever worked on. I think that this park definitely had a lot of potential. It's definitely very unfortunate that it had to close, but yeah, I guess all good things must come to an end at some point. And then actually some haunted houses that we made. So we made 3 haunted houses. And actually, I guess there are 2 more that one of them was in the park, but it got removed. And then the other one is still there. But I'll just demonstrate our haunted houses for haunt, and I'll actually set the time to night just because it actually is better if kind of we look at this at nighttime. So, and actually, I should turn off my night vision actually if we're going to do this. So, yeah, basically, as you're walking through, basically you walk through. The very first room that we had was kind of like a check-in area. So, like, there was basically an actor that stood here and basically kind of checked people into the hotel or into the motel. And then as you proceeded on, you proceeded onto the bedroom scene, which basically a ghost kind of has charge of this. A ghost basically is in charge of this. Uh, and then we've got, yeah, and then this was like a storage closet. I guess the chests are invisible, but they are there though. I can see them. And then this is the bathroom scene. We actually had a really cool jump scare right here, where basically an actor jumped right here, and like there was like a pressure plate here to like make like a sound effect, and then also there was like a light that flashed so that you could see the actor. But yeah, we had a pretty cool jump scare right there. Um, that was I would say like I think in this haunted house, I think that was definitely one of my favorite jump scares. And then here's just the ending scene where you get to see the ghost one more time. Um, then this one, Slaughter Manor. So Slaughter Manor, this was basically you go in, you're going through like the entry into the manor, kind of that entry hall, and then you go through here, and you make your way into Basically, make your way into the uh, kind of dining room, and then there's like a bedroom, and then after the bedroom, then you go through kind of a narrow hallway into the final room, which is a like a meat packing room. And then the final haunted house that we had was Coven of Blair. This is actually this is a haunted house that we've run once before. We ran it. We ran that for Haunt 2022, which I think the event was originally called Halloweenkins, but then we changed it to Haunt because Halloweenkins is going to be a haunted house. Halloweenkins is going to be our Halloween event for our parks because Halloweenkins is a Cedar Fair thing. So at least since Cedar Hills is kind of a since Cedar Hills is kind of a recreation of the Cedar Fair park chain, we're gonna have Halloween Kids, so we had to come up with another name, and so Haunt was the name that we ended up coming up with for our Halloween event that's outside the park that is kind of a little bit more immersive. And so Covenant Blade, you come in. I think this might have been like a living room or something. I think that was kind of the first room, and then the second room that we've got. This was a bedroom. Um, this room was like a kind of a kitchen, and then this next room in here was a potion making room, and then the final room was just a room that had a lot. It was just kind of like a dungeon type room with a lot of blood everywhere. Um, yeah. So yeah, I would say that Haunt was definitely a really great event, and then for Halloween's, yeah, we did have like a kind of a clown thing because we had basically the fairgrounds area had Clown's Death Metal Tour for the Scare Zone. And then for the Scare Zone for the boardwalk, we had Cutthroat Cove. And those were two scare zones from Cedar Point, actually. Like, Cedar Point had those scare zones for Halloween Guns 2023. So I took some inspiration from that. And then right here was actually, this was, we had a haunted house here called, trying to remember the name of it, Haunting of Erie Estate. It was our haunted house. It was supposed to be kind of near the fairgrounds. Like that was kind of the idea, was that it was kind of supposed to be in the fairgrounds area, but we just didn't have room in the fairgrounds area, so we just ended up putting it right here. And then the other haunted house that we had was called Midnight. And so Midnight was on the boardwalk. It was like right over by Surf Glider, which Surf Glider, I think we ended up when CPAP ended up working on it, he renamed it to High Roller Dive, and so it was going to be a still a Gerstlauer Infinity coaster, but it was going to be themed to casino. But yeah, so Midnight basically. So you enter in through here. This was something. This is actually kind of an extension on the building right here that CPAP added. But yeah, then your first scene for Midnight is like a staircase and entering kind of like an entryway, and then you make your way into like a kind of a scary looking hallway with like a skull on the table. And then this was going to be a new scene that we were going to add for 2024. Then we've got a bedroom. Then I believe the next room, this was a kitchen, and then we ended up deciding that we wanted to have a new scene room. This was like a living room, actually. Okay, yeah, living room, and then we had like I think this was a bathroom. And then this was a graveyard, but when Supap was retheming stuff, he actually created like a really cool looking like tower. Um, okay, so I'm gonna set the time back today. Yeah, and so I think actually one of my favorite cues in this park, honestly, is the Professor Marvel cue. I think the Professor Marvel's Hall of Science has a pretty cool queue. So you start kind of in an outdoor portion of the queue. So you start outdoors, and then you make your way indoors um, into kind of a science hall, and then you make your way into kind of like a laboratory thing, like where you have glass containers and stuff, and then you come back into this room, and then into the pre-show, and then I think right directly into the ride, because then Oh yeah, right directly into the ride, and then there's like a time teleporter, like a time machine, and then you make your way into the first scene, which was dinosaurs, then Egypt, and then I think oh yeah, this was Rome because this is ancient Rome because yeah, he was like the Colosseum, and then this was the Industrial Revolution, and then this is like a space thing. Then you go into space, and then you go through a black hole, which leads into a wormhole, which then leads into the time machine, back into the time machine, and then the end of the ride. And I believe, yeah, this was just storage back here. But yeah, I would say that was one of my favorite attractions because that one is like really well themed. And I think I'm definitely going to be working a lot on theming attractions. So like instead of just having Blue Streak, we'll probably end up having some sort of theme to it. Um, or yeah, maybe we'll keep Blue Streak actually because I do feel like that is a very classic coaster to Cedar Point. And so since this is like a custom recreation, we'll keep that. Since this is a custom recreation of Cedar Point, we'll keep that, and then Cyclone will probably be a little bit better themed. I think like we'll probably work on the theming. Like maybe like as you go through the queue, um, there will be some theming in the queue. Um, but yeah, and then Wind Seeker. That's kind of another attraction that we won't necessarily have theming for, besides just kind of the boardwalk theming like around the ride. I actually wonder if this tech still works. Oh yeah, I guess it does. Yeah, I don't know if all of the tech works. Like I don't know how much of it still works, but um, yeah. And then this, I know this ride was something that Supap was working on. He was making me like a submarine ride. And it was pretty cool. But now we shall go back to the new Cedar Hills. Oh, and I guess there was actually a warp, but let's warp to Cedar Plaza. There we go. So now we just made use of our nice little GUI. And I see that we are coming near the end of the stream for today. We will be ending in about 5 minutes or so. Um, I do want to just, as we are kind of wrapping up, I do want to just kind of, I do want to give a thank you so much to those who are in the chat and also those who are watching the stream. Thank you guys so much for joining in today. It definitely means a lot. I love getting all the support. Um, and that is kind of part of the reason why I stream. It's for you guys because um, I want to create a really great community and I want to just kind of create a peaceful place for people to go just because um, I know that there's definitely been a lot of people fighting and stuff in some communities out there, and so I wanted to create the server to be kind of a safe space for people to hang out and not have to worry about getting into arguments with people. Because that is definitely something I'm very passionate about. I'm very passionate about creating these safe communities where people don't have to worry about arguments and stuff, because I know how hard it can be to deal with that stuff. So I'm definitely very passionate about creating safe communities for people to be in. And no matter how much people continue to laugh at me and put me down for creating this server, I'm not going to stop creating the server, because this is something I'm very passionate about. And yeah, and I'm not going to name names of people who have laughed at me, because I don't want to give them a bad reputation. I want to try to forgive them and try to let it go and move on and stuff. Yeah, I'm all about giving people second chances. So I think probably once we get like the restrooms done, we'll work on the information center. And I think I'm trying to decide if I still want to use the same palette for the information center or if I want to switch it up. All right, and so what we'll do next is I'm gonna just go ahead and create the floor. Okay. All right, and then all right, so we got kind of the basic layout of that. Um, there we go. So we got that. Um, all right, and then this should be connected. There we go. Okay, and so I think I would like to create like kind of like a small little like flower bed of sorts. All right. So we got a nice little flower bed there. Actually, that would block the view of the plaza sign, so I think I want to just make that regular grass. That looks better, yeah. Because like if we're kind of thinking about it from this perspective, it's better to have that be short grass rather than long grass. All right, so that will be all for today's stream. It is time for me to end the stream, so thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed the stream, please be sure to follow me on Twitch. Also, be sure to subscribe to me on YouTube and like my videos for more content from me, for more of the same content from me. Thank you again so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.